Protests and violence on Georgia Tech's campus last night in Atlanta, just days after a student was fatally shot by campus police outside a dorm building. Scott Schultz, originally from Rockville, Maryland. He was 21 years old, and police say he was suicidal and armed with a knife when he was shot. His family says his knife was a multi-tool with no blade. In our own backyard, there will be no charges for the officer that shot and killed a 15-year-old at his home on Friday. Prince William County Police say Ruben Urbina had a 3-foot crowbar in his hand and was seen beating his brother's girlfriend. Recently, New York City Police released body camera footage from the first fatal shooting involving its officers since they've had these cameras. The shooting happened September 6th in the Bronx. The footage shows a standoff between a 31-year-old college exchange student from Jamaica and the officers who came to his Bronx apartment to check on him at the request of the student's landlord. For 15 minutes, officers repeatedly instructed Miguel Richards to drop a knife. They seem to suspect that a gun might be in his other hand. Richards stands still in the far corner of the room, doesn't appear to say anything during the standoff.
Put the knife down. Put that knife down. Dude, put that knife down.
Put the knife down, dude.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Put the knife down and walk out here. Okay?
What's in your other hand?
Put the knife down.
Guys, back up. Back up.
Put it down.
Put that knife down. You hear me? Put that knife on the floor. Drop it. Dude, what's in your other hand? You understand, you are seconds away from getting shot if you don't tell us what's in the other hand. Let me see where that other hand is. You hear me? Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Do you hear what I'm saying to you, Ricardo?
Put it down.
Tell him put his hand up.
Let me see your other hand. Do you want to die?
Put it down.
I don't want to shoot you, man, but I will if you come back with that knife. You hear me?
After 15 minutes, an officer comes in and uses a taser gun on Richards. Richards then lifts his hand. The hand one officer believed was holding a gun. Officers then shot him several times. The object in his hand turned out to be a toy gun. 3 separate incidents that I just told you about, but could they have been handled differently, with the apparent disturbed person on the other end living instead of dying at the hands of police? Going off script with us right now, Dr. Arthur Evans. He's CEO of the American Psychological Association here in Washington. Doctor, thanks very much for joining us. You're coming here from Philadelphia.
Yes.
Former Terp. Thanks for joining us. What do you make of this, what you saw there and what you're seeing from your own experience?
Well, these are very tragic events that occur. And, you know, the reality is that they don't need to continue occurring. Police departments around the country have done training, what's called crisis intervention training, which has made a huge difference in the amount of police shootings. My own experience in Philadelphia as a mental health commissioner, partnered with the police chief, we trained over 40% of the police department in Philadelphia, dramatically reducing police shootings of people who have mental illness.
Well, what about those of us who feel as though this goes beyond the police matter? You know, you want somebody who's capable and competent in the mental health field to be there also to help negotiate a different kind of ending to all this.
Sure, I think in any city you want a comprehensive set of resources that include both police and mental health crisis workers. But the reality is that police can actually do a much more effective job if they have the proper training. As I said, around the country this has been done. It can be done anywhere.
In other words, the object should be to diffuse the situation.
Well, in the training, for example, in crisis intervention training, what happens is police officers get training on how to identify mental health challenges. If someone's in crisis, they hear from people who themselves have experienced mental health challenges. They do exercises like hearing voices exercises, and they do role playing. All of those things go to help officers learn how to de-escalate those kind of situations and to diffuse those situations.
Okay, we got a couple of Facebook comments here. Adrian Lanier says, DC police have been consistently good. I'm going to assume they've had some of this training you're talking about. Lisa says, it's scary. There has to be a better way to handle people. Terry Martin says, there's a shoot to kill or shoot to wound. Every shooter knows there is a difference. You do not have to shoot to kill. I can respond to that. Police are trained that when they shoot for the big part. They shoot to take you down.
Absolutely.
They're not shooting to wound. That's not in their training. Right. Better training, could eliminate some of this?
Oh, there's no question. You know, I'll just give you an anecdote. In Philadelphia, when I took the job, we routinely had people who had been shot by the police. By the time I left my position several years later, the police commissioner nor myself could identify anyone in recent years who had been shot by the police who had mental illness. So we know it can work.
Yeah, you know, the other side, and this is kind of cold to end it this way, a lot of jurisdictions are paying big sums of money when police make a mistake. You know, think they saw something, think there was this imminent danger there, and they take somebody out. They end up paying lots and lots of money in these cases, too.
We have a lot of problems that we don't have good solutions for. This is not one of those. And I think police departments that embrace this kind of training will find that it protects their officers and it protects the public. It's a win-win.
Dr. Evans, thanks a lot for coming in.
Anytime.
You really have to appreciate this. Simple Facebook post with